Welcome to the Books and Martinis podcast.
I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy.
And this is your go-to book podcast,
where we lift, empower, and spotlight authors.
Grab your martini and follow along.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast. I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy. Welcome, everybody. And a special welcome to Judy. Judy, hello.
Yay.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome. Cheers to you.
We're so excited to have you on today. On your screen and in your ears is Judy Balloff.
Yes.
And we are so excited to have you, as we said before, because you are the author of 365 Days of Abundance. Yay! Cutie plus.
Beautiful book in so many different ways. Not only a beautiful cover and a beautiful message, but I mean, I will let all that up to Judy to share with us because there's so much depth in here and so much wonderful stuff. Judy, tell us a little bit about yourself and welcome. Thank you for your time.
It's my privilege. I love people. I love talking to people. I love people who love books.
Oh, good.
So this is a good connection.
I love that.
I'm older than I look, so we won't do a life story. That's
Nobody was thinking of that.
I know. But the book starts about 4.5 years ago, when I was told by my primary care physician that I needed to see a cardiologist. And what turned out is that I had a defective aortic valve I was born with, and I needed open heart surgery.
Oh no.
So open heart surgery, 6 or 7 hours. It's a big surgery, but many people recover from it fine. And I woke up and the valve was in place, but I had 5 strokes. So I lost my ability to read, write, use my right hand, my complex thinking, which you do not want to be without, and my sense of balance. After a long recovery, I went back to my big corporate job. I covered 2 states. I made a boatload of money, and they got rid of me. Under Title V, they were not allowed to do that, so they had to pay me some money, which I'm not allowed to say the amount. It wasn't enough so I could retire, so I'm still here talking to you. So,
and that's okay, because you're creating amazing material for people. You're helping other people.
And that's why I think God kept me alive.
Wow.
So, I was 64 and I didn't have enough money saved for retirement because I have had 9 careers, 4 kids, 7 grandkids, and 2 husbands, not at the same time.
Oh, okay, good.
And so, that many kids and grandkids takes a lot of cash.
Yes.
If you think about it, right? And so I didn't have enough saved to retire. So I said, I got to go find a job. I ended up at New York Life, which if you know anything about the insurance business, it's 100% commission.
Okay.
It's a lot of hard work.
It's
a lot of hustle.
Very hard work. I probably work 60, 70 hours a week, but that's not the story. The story is while I was there, do you guys know, or do your listeners know Bob Proctor or Napoleon Hill?
Yes.
Very well.
Just for your listeners, Bob Proctor was a student of Napoleon Hill's. And like me, I'm a certified Napoleon Hill instructor. Bob Proctor was the same thing before they had a certification for it, but he just learned at the feet of Napoleon Hill. So he was teaching a sales class that New York Life said we could take for a discounted price. And I love learning. So I'm like, I'm signing up for this. This is, So I get on the class, and the first thing that Bob Proctor says, and he's literally teaching the 13 principles of Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich: desire, faith, the whole 9 yards. And he says something at the beginning of the course that I now say to my coaching clients and my RTT clients, like I use it all the time, because I say, if you really want to change your life, and he said it twice, if you really want to change your life, listen to every class 5 times. Start on Monday. They were like 35, 40 minutes. Watch it Monday. Take notes. Watch it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I looked at myself and I said, I want to change my life. I mean, I had just lost my big corporate job, started all over at New York Life. I had to make enough money to retire someday, I thought. I'm never retiring. I'm having way too much fun. Anyway, I did that at the end of the 13 weeks because there's 13 principles in Think and Grow Rich, if you remember.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to the end of 13 weeks and I was like, wow. And in those 13 weeks, I discovered the universal laws. Bob Proctor and Napoleon Hill only mentioned them like one time. But for some reason, that's what I was like, I wonder what those are. So I literally ended up buying every book I could find on the universal. I researched it, I studied it. Well, I did that secondarily. The first thing I did is I said to my husband the next morning when I got up, I said, you know, David, somebody should write a book. And that book should have, it should be an all-in-one book. Because I believe all the personal development teachers that I've ever taught have gotten their material from the Bible in some way or another. They might not even realize it, but that's where they got it from. And I said, there should be a book that combines the Holy Scriptures, the universal laws, Napoleon Hill's Principles of Success from Think and Grow Rich, and an affirmation, plus a reflection, which is what I wrote, and maybe a quotation if I have one that's appropriate, for every single day of the year. And you know what God does when you say something like that out into the world? He taps you on the shoulder and says, why don't you write it? So I called my daughter, who's an editor, and she lives in Spain. She's a real editor. That's what she does for a job. And I said, hey, would you be willing to edit a book for me? And she goes, you're writing a book? Kids are so supportive, right?
Always.
And I said, yeah, I got this inspiration to write a book. I've got the whole, literally God downloaded it in my head just the way that it is. You know, you need to do the laws, you need to go through the whole thing. Laws, principles, throw in the 6 ghosts of fear, throw in gratitude, cover everything. And I said to Taylor, I said, so it's January. How many days would I need to write every day so that I could publish in early November for the Christmas sales? Thinking like an entrepreneur, you know?
Right, of course.
So she said 3 every day. Well, I was already working 60 hours a week at New York Live. I was like, okay, the only thing to do is have some discipline. I'm going to get up. I'm not a morning person, by the way, just tell you that. I got up at 5:30.
Wow.
For 9 months, every single day, and wrote from 5:30 to 7:30, then took a shower and did New York Life.
Wow.
3 every day.
So you did it in 9 months.
Yep, 9 months.
A 365-day book in 9 months.
Yes, it is, in 9 months. And I said to my daughter on that first call, I'm going to get Bob Proctor to write the foreword. And she goes, sure you are. Look at the foreword.
For you. Good
I'm
for
gonna pull it
you.
Bob Proctor.
See that? I love that. Good for you.
So the book got published, and ever since I've been writing. I ended up I'm a John Maxwell coach. I'm a certified Napoleon Hill instructor. And I just a year and a half ago got my licenses as a certified rapid transformational therapist because I was running into people who didn't get help by my books or my online school. They needed more help than that. So I specialize in addictions.
Okay.
Because there's a population of people. I meet people every day that say, oh, I wish my friend would come to you because she drinks a bottle of wine every night. I helped my son, who's an Army vet, who had been an alcoholic for 20 years. And I did RTT therapy with him 6 months ago, clean and sober.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And nothing else we did. He went to rehab with the VA many times and just never stuck. So it's an amazing, I'm just having a
beautiful
blast.
life at the moment.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And absorbing all that knowledge and all the certifications that you've done, that's amazing, Judy.
And
It's really been fun. I just think learning, they say knowledge is power. No, applied knowledge is power.
Applied, of course.
Yep.
Absolutely. In your whole process of writing the book, in those 9 months, what do you feel was the most rewarding moment?
Or not so rewarding moment.
Go to 9/11. The most rewarding moment was because I wrote even on vacation. I wrote on Easter and Christmas and everything. When we were in Pennsylvania on vacation, remember this is when COVID just started opening up. And so if you went to a hotel, you had to wear masks when you were in the lobby, the whole 9 yards.
Remember.
And we went out for a drive one day, and David said, Judy, I think we're close to Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where the plane went down. I heard they opened a museum there. Maybe you'd get some material for your book. Let's drive over there. Because he was great at helping me research stuff. So we drove over there, and the post in that book, that's where I met, well, he was not there, but Wally Miller was the coroner who started raising all the money for that memorial. And he was the one that called the families. Because remember when the families came, there was all those families that were in that plane, all their family members were dissipated because the plane hit the ground at 580 miles an hour.
Right.
And when you are at that, if you've never been to that memorial, plan a vacation to go to it because it's worth it.
Okay.
And it that was the most exciting day of writing. I mean, I had fun every day. God kept just bringing me stories and examples and Bible verses. And it was just, I had more fun writing that book than anything I did the last 20 years.
Oh my God. That's
wonderful.
Amazing. Now,
that's beautiful.
For our listeners, I just want to read it. So September 11th, it says Universal Law of Inspired Action. And today's affirmation, I am grateful to stand on the shoulders of brave men and women to dream more, to do more, and become more. That's beautiful, Judy.
Well, you said what was the best day, and it only takes me one. And here's what's interesting. My daughter, who's an atheist, she's wonderful, but she's just, she's not quite where she needs to be. And when I wrote Inspired Action, she called me up and she goes, that was just people who were at the right place at the right time. I said, nope, you're wrong. You do not take that kind of action unless the values in your heart and soul are so cemented that you do the right thing at the right time. That's inspired action.
Right. It's beautiful. Yep. So deep. This is beautiful. Would you say this is your favorite book you've written?
Yes.
Or can you tell us more about the other book that you just released?
It's my favorite book,
but
actually both this book, Flipping the Script on Negativity, was recommended by podcasters because I did 30 podcasts when I published the book.
Okay.
And the podcasters kept asking, this was their question. The principles sound wonderful, but how do you live those kind of principles? It sounds pretty hard to do. And I said, I came up with 7 P's of thought control, and that's what helps me. So then they said, okay, what are the 7
Write it down.
Write it down and put it in a book or a pamphlet. So called Taylor again, my editor's daughter, and said, how many pages does a book have to be for Amazon to publish it? And she goes, 32. And I said, okay, I can make those 7 principles 32. So that was Flipping the Script on Negativity. It's got the 7 P's to control your thoughts and dispel negativity in your life.
Well, what are the 7 keys? Can you share at least one?
No, they're all P's.
Oh, P's.
They're P's.
Oh,
like the letter.
Can you give us one?
Yeah, the first one is powerful breathing. So if you're in heavy traffic and you want to cuss and swear or call your husband and complain, which is really bad for your subconscious mind, you do powerful, in through your nose, hold it for 4 counts, out through your mouth. And what that does is it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which lowers your blood pressure, slows your heartbeat, and allows you to think. Do I want to be the kind of person who lets traffic stress me out? No, I don't want to be that kind of person. The second P is pull the rubber band. So you wear a rubber band on your wrist, and whenever you're going to get stressed or blow up or yell at the kids or the dog or anybody, you pull the rubber band because pain will bring awareness. Yeah. A little snap will make you go like, oh, who do I want to be?
Wonderful.
I love
Can
that.
you share more? I want more.
You have to get the book.
I have the book right here. Like, yes, I usually know them by heart, but you just threw me off there. Number 3 is prayer. Because Corrie ten Boom said, is prayer your steering wheel or your spare tire? So I suggest, I just keep using traffic because everybody has had traffic in their life.
Yes.
And I just say, you have to keep your eyes on the road. You just stop and you say, God, help me control my anger. Help me control my irritation. Help me do something good while I'm in traffic. Let somebody else in. Like, be on the side of giving instead of on swearing. Like, there's other emotions to bring into any equation if we choose to do so.
Absolutely.
And what's really interesting is I actually use all 7 of these. I give I'm a keynote speaker, so I give talks for veteran organizations that want to raise money. And so this talk has the 7 P's in it because one of the things that veterans struggle with is anger.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps them. So when I gave the veterans talk, I sold out of these books. Like everybody bought it that night, which is funny because they just heard me say them. They could have taken notes and saved the money on the book, but they wanted the book.
It's not the same.
You want the book.
You want the hard copy.
And then this one.
Tell us about that one. I want to hear that.
Spring cleaning your inner being. I have coaching clients and RTT clients and stuff, and what I discovered is they didn't get, even though literally if you just read 365 every single day, you'll get a lot of this all by yourself, but you won't. Hardly anybody's that consistent.
Right.
I'm close, but it's my book.
Right.
And I love my book, so I read it every day because it always encourages my heart, or the Bible verse is perfect, or the quote is inspirational, or the affirmation is just what I needed. And if you write a book 3.5 years ago, you don't remember. The stories are like they're new for me.
Right.
Like I could read Wally Miller's story over and over and over and over again because he literally turned hate into love, which is one of the universal laws, the perpetual transmutation of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And every time we see somebody do that, it's that law in action. And here's what's cool about the universal laws, why I wrote Spring Cleaning. The universal laws are laws. They always work the same way. And you can change your life by living by those laws. So in the book, in the 13th chapter, the maintenance chapter, there's a link for a chart. So I copied the form of Benjamin Franklin's chart for moral perfection. Like, if you can believe the title of that. He had things like temperance and frugality. Those are, kind of they are in the universal laws, but in a different way. These universal laws, starting with the universal law of divine oneness, which says God is in us, which means every person you see, you must say, Namaste, I see God in you. And it will stop you judging and complaining and criticizing other human beings.
So powerful.
Yeah.
And the world be a better place?
That deserves a lot of practice. You have to practice those laws consistently in order to really implement them in your lives.
Chart
and
in the
live
book.
by them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I do with my coaching clients. I say, print out the chart. And when we do your check-in call, what you do is, I'm copying Benjamin Franklin. This was not original. But he said he would look at he had 13, there's 12 of these, pretty same number. And he said at the end of every week, he'd look at whichever one of the 13 he had not been good at and put a black dot in that box so he knew the next week what to work on.
That's checking accountability right there.
So
and accountability does something amazing for you.
How has writing these books transformed your life? So I know you read the quotations every day. It reinforces what the work that you've done, the research, all that stuff. But what's another part of your life that's really impacted and transformed?
It's becoming a Napoleon Hill. Writing that book is how I became a Napoleon Hill instructor, because I figured out that Napoleon Hill Foundation was in my state of Virginia at the time I lived in Virginia. Was I surprised? A, that there was a foundation for Napoleon Hill. B, that you could get certified as an instructor of his principles. And it changed my relationship with my youngest daughter, because we are on the opposite spectrum politically, and we used to fight like cats and dogs, crying, running out of the house, saying we'd never talk to each other again, her saying she didn't want to be my editor anymore. Like it just, it was a fractured relationship. And in Napoleon Hill's Science of Success, which is not in Think and Grow Rich, that's his bigger book that he wrote at another time in his life. One of the principles in there is accurate thinking. And accurate thinking says always ask if something's true or false, and then ask how they know that. Like, what's their source? And thirdly, ask if it's important or unimportant. Maybe you don't even need to think about it. So I used that with my youngest daughter, and when she would call and say, what about this? And I'd say, I want to know your source. And it's got to be a source that's
Incredible.
politically neutral,
Right.
not left or right. And you can suggest a book that I should read, and I'm going to suggest a book that you should read. And we'll both learn to, because this is politics. And Joseph, have you ever heard of Joseph Murphy?
I have.
Yeah, he wrote the best book on the subconscious ever written, called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And in that book, he says, politicians, do not fight with anybody about politics, because politicians will be here as long as God wants them here. And when he doesn't, they'll be gone. So I'm okay with whatever happens. I'm busy. I mean, and you asked what happened is I realized that you don't read 365 every day. You mean to, it's on your bedstand or it's in your kitchen, or what I did is I paid money to buy a Kindle version of my own book.
Okay.
So that it's on my Kindle on my phone. So wherever I am, in the grocery line, in traffic, I can read my 365 that day. So I'm better since it's on my phone. That's helped me.
That's wonderful. Sure, because your phone is that one thing that's always with you.
Yeah, it's always with me. And I realized, and this year when I wrote this book, I got the idea for this book when I wrote this class that I wrote for the veterans, Power Up Blueprint. It's in my online school. And I got the idea for the book. I mean, one day I was writing the class, and I swear God just downloaded the 12 questions. I don't know where I came up with them from, but they were just there. And so I was planning on writing the book, and I started last summer. And then in August, I slipped on a rainy floor and shattered my right arm in 4 places, have 40 bone grafts, a plate and 7 screws, and it was a 7-month recovery.
Wow, Judy.
And that's when I wrote this book. Because I was struggling with the universal law of polarity, because everybody knows it means everything has an opposite, right? But what it also means is you need to look in every adversity for the equal or greater benefit. And so in this book is the 30 gifts and lessons that God gave me while I recovered from a very painful shoulder break, and gave me the inspiration to finish my book.
Isn't that interesting that these 2 books were results of something cataclysmic happening in your life?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and how it's changed my life is my whole thinking process has changed. So I live a charmed life. I mean, I'm 72 years old, and in 7 months, I broke my arm and my shoulder in 4 places, had a hard recovery. And then in January, still in a sling, I was told that the artificial heart valve I got, 9 years ago, that sent me to the new career and writing books and everything, needed to be replaced, that I needed another heart surgery. But miraculously, I qualified for a procedure called TAVR, T-A-V-R, where they can go through your groin. And I had surgery on Monday, went home on Tuesday, and went out to dinner on Wednesday.
Whoa.
That's wonderful. Technology and medicine have come such a long way.
That's insane. That's insane.
Anyway, so it's literally, and I also followed Napoleon Hill's directions, and he said everybody should have a mastermind group. Maybe you guys are a mastermind group. I don't know.
Well, we are. We actually, so I don't know if Mercy ever told you this, but we read Think and Grow Rich years ago in the beginning of our relationship. So Mercy and I, we call herself, she's my wife, my work wife. You know what I mean? We've known each other since 2006, and we were brought together. My kids went to her preschool. She had a preschool in Miami. We started a foundation together. called the Edge Charitable Foundation. We had it for 15 years. And
Cool.
after that, we're like, okay, what are we going to do now? Like, I don't know if we want to do something serious. So we started Books and Martinis to have fun and talk about reading books. And before it was movies and martinis. So all the things that we love, right? But in the beginning, we read Think and Grow Rich. And we had our mastermind. It was us two and other two founders, and we had our board of directors. And we were just surrounded by an amazing support group in Miami and people that we relied on and went to for advice. And we had our master. That was something that we purposefully created a mastermind for ourselves.
Good for you. Yeah, I mean,
and with
mastermind
that, we were able to, for 15 years, help children and mothers and families that were underprivileged worldwide. So it was a
awesome.
beautiful, beautiful giving time in our life.
Yeah.
We also began a leadership group for youth. So it was led by youth, for youth, and they followed the 7 principles. It was oh my goodness, I forgot what it was. It was the 7 principles of law or of habit. 7 habits.
Seven habits.
Seven habits of highly effective people.
Yes, 7
Thank
habits.
you. That's what it was, but it was for teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
He did write a
teenagers.
teenage version.
Right.
Yes.
Which was his son, I believe, that wrote it.
Yeah.
And so our youth group that we had, which was called the Youth Advisory Committee, shadowed our board of directors and learned leadership skills by living through what we were doing as leaders. And then they created a program that they wrote themselves, a curriculum, and implemented it in the local middle schools.
Oh, that's
So we
cool.
had that going on. And then we had our Queen Bees, which was just gathering women of all ages. And we had them from preteens to ladies that were in their 90s, and from women that were divorced or widowed or married or engaged or whatever it was, come together regularly to empower each other through storytelling and community.
And volunteering,
Yes, and volunteering and serving the actual nonprofit, and then raising funds to give back to the community. So that became a full-time job for both of us for 15 years.
Like it.
It was beautiful. And then right after COVID, everything changed. Everything, all the fundraising and the way everything was just moving forward changed. And we ended up she ended up in New York. I was in Tennessee. Our group was in Miami. It just stopped. I guess whatever purpose it served was served at that point.
Yeah.
But our friendship was so much deeper that we decided, okay, what are we going to do? And we began writing. So we're both writing our own books. We started this about 6 years ago. And in that, we entered a community of readers because we were both avid readers. So we started reading and writing. And that's how this podcast became. We wanted to learn from other authors and other writers and readers.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I like
what they loved and be really authentic about it. We're just 2 girls. We want to learn about your process. How was it? What did you enjoy? What did you not like about it? And we've been so blessed beyond measure because we have had so many authors that we are literally booked until June of 2026.
That's awesome.
With authors. So the amount of books that we have is like absolutely insane. So we just try to read as many as we can because we'll interview 4 to 5 monthly so that we can release an episode every single week.
Yeah.
So it's been full circle for us.
Here's a really good thing about my book. You can just keep it around and read 1 a day. So that's a lot easier.
Right.
And just flip it. You could even flip it. It doesn't even have to be the day because
it doesn't have to be the day. Yeah.
It could be something like, as you would say in Christianity, like a spirit leads you, you just flip it open to the page and, it's whatever.
Oh, and I have if I go look for something, if I have a day where I feel like this is what I need, I'll go to one of the universal laws every time. I love Napoleon Hill. He's actually, you guys would love to hear this because this is so unique. I'm going to be, I think, the first keynote speaker who does this. I met a guy and I hired him, and he has animated my Council of Visionaries. Abraham Lincoln, Napoleon Hill, MLK, Margaret Thatcher, and Susan B. Anthony. And my keynote, I ask them a question and they answer my question. and it's animated. It's a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and he's talking.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's bringing the modern world into the old wisdom.
Yeah.
Together.
That's
So I teach people how to build their own council of visionaries, which is really cool to get, because
it is really cool.
I suggest that people should tear up their pros and cons list and actually go build their own council of visionaries. Who do you trust? Who have you read about? Who inspires you? Maybe it's a grandma or a teacher or a coach, or maybe it's somebody from history, because I love history. So my bookshelves are filled with history books and biographies of famous. Like, did you know that Susan B. Anthony had a fabulous sense of humor? Reporters liked to interview her because she was so funny. Now, all the pictures you see of her, she looks so stern.
Yes.
Yeah, so rigid.
Serious.
Not only that she's the best example of persistence that we have in history, because she traveled for 52 years speaking 4 to 5 times a week on women's suffrage, and it didn't get passed till 6 years after she died. She never got to see it come to fruition. Isn't that
so interesting?
Wow.
I didn't know that.
And then
wonderful.
Margaret Thatcher, she literally kept running against the Labour Party in Britain. The Tories were the Conservatives, but after World War II, they voted out Winston Churchill, and she kept running in these towns where she lost, but she lost by less every time. And if it weren't for her, Britain might be a communist country to this day. She's personally responsible for not giving up. So if we have any lesson we can learn from the women in history, that it's don't give up.
Don't give up.
The power of persistence. Absolutely.
Power of persistence. I don't give up. Like I have a good business. I'm not a multimillionaire by any. I mean, 365 sells better than any other book I have ever written. I mean, it still sells every month. People buy it. But I have such a great life. I don't need any more money than I have. Like, I'm good. I get to go on vacation. I get to eat every day. I have a roof over my head.
That's amazing.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And Judy, I want to ask you, as a writer, going back to one of the things we were talking about of interviewing writers, as a writer, what would be your advice to another writer, to an aspiring author, to somebody that wants to do something like what you've done?
So I guess I could only give advice to nonfiction writers, because I'm not a fiction writer.
Right.
I don't think I have that kind of imagination.
No? Okay, so I'm sure you have a lot of advice, because that takes fortitude to put all those books together, to sit there and write and research and not give up.
No, I didn't. I mean,
and to be so disciplined.
I have a coaching client, that she's on Sunday nights at 6, and I was talking to her last night, and the class was on deepening your essential habits to make a better life, because habits are what make actions create legacy. So habits are really important. Yeah. And she said, well, I'll tell you, she said, the habit you have of persistence, she said, I could never do that. I already know I can't do it. I said, that's in your head. That's in your that's a paradigm in your subconscious mind. Yeah. That you could never do that. If you decide to do something and you tell your subconscious mind that's what we're going to do, your subconscious mind will cooperate.
Right. Because that's what it'll know.
That's the only thing it'll know. That there's rules of the mind, which I learned from being an RTT therapist, these are cool. If you can learn a couple of these and carry them with you, they will help you every day. My first favorite one is, I call it the blueprint law. Every word you say and every thought you think is forming a blueprint, and your mind and body are forced to operate off that blueprint.
I like that. And that reminds me, so blueprints also, we're born a clean slate, right? And our blueprints are what's downloaded to us from our parents, our siblings, whoever our caregivers are. And then we have to break through that blueprint
in order to decide. Did you know that George Bernard Shaw said that he said 2% of people think, 3% of people think they think, and 95% of the people would rather die than think. Now, that's close to true, but the truth is, if more people didn't run on autopilot and they actually controlled their thoughts by what they read, what they write, who they spend their time with, all those things, they would be controlling their thoughts, and then they wouldn't run on autopilot every day and react the same way to all the things that come through life. And I mean, you have to admit that what I wrote, I live, because do you know any other 72-year-old that broke her shoulder in 4 places and had heart surgery and she looks this good?
I love it. I love it. That's wonderful.
I mean, it's just, and I am really blessed to be able to help people. I help cocaine addicts and alcoholics and people struggling with abuse in their past, and to see them get freedom.
That's priceless.
It's priceless. And you know, and lots of times I discount my prices because people don't have the money, and my husband's more thrifty than I am. He's like, "Are you going to make money on this business, Jude?" I said, "I will. Don't worry. God will take care of it." I
kind of feel like that's every husband's question.
Right? At least that's been our experience.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But I really, if my cocaine client can make it to the place where he's totally on a different path, that feeling in your heart,
everything. That is everything.
If you help save a human life.
Absolutely.
And you don't
there's no price for that.
Person. Yeah, you don't just save one person. You save parents, cousins,
everybody that surrounds that person.
Everybody that surrounds that person.
Absolutely.
So it's a gift to be able to do this. It's just,
it is. It's beautiful.
A total gift.
So tell me, what advice would you give a writer that wanted to make?
This is going to sound a little bit like I'm being mean, and I'm not.
Okay.
Write a book when you have something to say. Don't write a book because you always wanted to write a book. Because I'm telling you, becoming a published author is not what all the people that are trying to sell you classes turns out to be. Books are hard to sell. The average author, remember, this is in the whole country, even Simon, what's his name, that sold 1 million books, right? Even him, or Marissa Peer, whoever they are. There's a few people that have sold 1 million books. The average number of books sold by authors in the United States is 250.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's why I say, I'm not being mean, I'm just saying, if you want to write a nonfiction book, have something to say, something that you can say that nobody else is going to say. Nobody else is writing what I'm writing. Like, nobody's breaking down the 12 universal laws so you can just read it in a day and ask yourself the 12 questions for the next year and change your life.
Right.
Like,
you're adding value.
Yeah, and my legacy is going to be that maybe I'll change 500 lives. I don't know. Maybe I'll change 40. Who knows? But
and how many will we change after we're gone?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have the best story for you. I went to Austria for my grandson's high school graduation from the Worldwide Kayaking School. You didn't know that existed, did you?
No, ma'am.
And meet my newest grandchild, Booker, who was 5 months old. So everybody was in Europe at this time, so we all met there for the graduation. The day after the graduation, we were all going to go for a hike, but we were all staying in different hotels and places, so we were doing it by texting, right? We had a family WhatsApp. Anyway, everybody said, meet at this one hiking place. And remember, I'm the one that had open heart surgery and the broken, so I don't do really dangerous hikes anymore. It's probably not really safe for me. But they said this was supposed to be an easy hike. So we got lost on the way there from our hotel. So we got there late. And I said, I think I see where the hike is. And we went up and back, and it was really easy. And Taylor said, you're not on this hike. That's the children's hike.
Oh, that explains.
So I said, okay. I said, well, we'll just wait for you at the coffee shop. And as we walked down from the hike, there was this statue, a man on a park bench outside St. John's Church, a pretty cathedral. And I said, David, take a picture of me with the man on the bench. It'll be really cute. It was a cute picture. But what was cool is this guy founded that church, but more importantly, because this is a story for what you just said about you don't know how many lives you're going to touch. He started the SOS Children's Villages after World War II. He was an orphan himself, and he saw all these kids without families. So it's not and he saw the orphanages where they just threw a bunch of kids. There was no family structure. There was nothing but, a priest and a nun that would feed them and take care of them. So he started these villages to put kids in families, like there were families that lost their kids that put these people together. Mm. It's good you're both sitting down because you're not going to believe this. This guy, his name is Herman Gemeiner. He started SOS, you can look him up online, SOS Children's Villages. He's helped 41 million kids, and it's in 135 countries.
What? That's crazy.
Isn't that a blow your mind story?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow. Talk about legacy.
That's where you were meant to be that day.
I wasn't meant to be
at that bench.
Right? I was supposed to be on that bench reading that story
to share with others.
And it's in my keynote, the AI keynote with Lincoln and all those guys. We got Herman Greiner, we got those guys.
I love it.
Well, wonderful.
Judy, this has been an amazing conversation. Like, you just gave us so much to digest, and so much for our readers too, and our listeners and our viewers. And I hope they all pick up this book and your other books.
Go to my website to get it. Do not. Yes. That other guy with the big A, you want to buy it on there.
No. So tell us how we can purchase this the right way.
Thank you so much. You just go to my website, www.judyballoff, JudyBalloff.com. And
we're going to add it. We're going to add it here wherever you're listening or watching. We're going to put the link to make it even easier for you to find the book. But I'm sorry, Judy, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's what I said. It's just when you get to the website, you just go to store and the books are there.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful. So we'll add the link here so that everybody can have this beautiful book. And it's just so inspiring, and it's so beautifully done because it has beautiful art in it as well. It's not your typical book. It's really a beautifully put together book.
It's visually pleasing.
Yes. Well, we're giving credit to the author's daughter, her editor, who is a really mean editor, actually.
Probably to mom.
To mom, yeah. But the book is 30% better because she edited it. She checked every Bible verse and put the version of the Bible that was in there. She checked every quote to be sure the person that I thought said it actually said it. Like, she was a great editor. Yeah, fact checking. She was awesome.
She did an amazing job. So kudos to her. What's her name again?
Taylor.
Congrats, Taylor.
Good job,
you did an amazing job. So as you're listening to your mom, because I'm sure you listen to all her podcasts.
Yes. And I'd like to
keep hoping she does. Yes.
Yes. I wanted to share with everybody that the name of the book is 365 Days of Abundance. However, the most important part of it is how to create a life of wealth, happiness, wisdom, and inspiration through the 12 universal laws and principles of success and his divine word. And that's a full wrap up on the beauty of this book.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Our pleasure. Thank you for sharing so much. This was wonderful. I mean, I could spend 10 hours listening to you.
I know, we're like
Thank you.
Absorbing everything here, like taking everything in, and we hope our listeners do too. So let's do a final cheers.
Yes.
Cheers to Judy.
And thank you again.
And your impact on the world.
Thank you so much. It's so
now
much
and
to
forever.
talk to you, and nice to find people on the same vibration.
Yes.
Always. That's a wonderful thing.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening and watching. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, and we'll check you out in the next episode.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.